If your car broke down on the dark highway at 3 in the morning, how many of your 500 phone contacts would actually pick up? 2? Maybe 3? On paper, you are the most connected human being in evolutionary history. You have 1,200 followers and dozens of group chats vibrating in your pocket right now. Yet for over 300,000 years, your ancestors lived in small savanna tribes governed by a strict, hidden mathematical rule of biological limit hardwired into your brain that no technology can break. So why is your ancient brain physically incapable of handling the modern world, and what happens when you push it past its limit? Most people assume that keeping up with hundreds of friends is just a matter of effort. We tell ourselves that if we just managed our time better, replied to text messages faster, or stopped procrastinating on social media, we could stay close to everyone we have ever met. When we drift apart from high school classmates or old co-workers, we feel a quiet twinge of guilt. We blame ourselves for being bad friends. But evolutionary biology quietly drops a hard ceiling on your brain, proving that your guilt is based on a complete illusion. You aren't bad at maintaining relationships. Your brain is simply running on a hardwired biological limit that hasn't updated in 300,000 years. In the early 1990s, a British evolutionary anthropologist named Dr. Robin Dunbar at Oxford University set out to solve a strange mystery about animal behavior. He was studying primate chimpanzees, baboons, macaques, and gorillas. He noticed that different species lived in wildly different group sizes. Some monkey species wandered in tiny groups of 10, while others roamed in massive troops of 50 or 60. When Dunbar examined what held these primate groups together, he found a single driving mechanism: social grooming. Monkeys spend hours every day picking leaves, dirt, and tiny bugs out of each other's fur. It looks like a simple hygiene routine, but to a monkey, grooming is high-stakes political diplomacy. It builds trust, seals alliances, and ensures that if a leopard attacks the troop tomorrow, the monkey whose back you picked yesterday will help you fight it off. Grooming is basically the ancient evolutionary version of replying, "Haha, so true," to someone's Instagram story. It's how primates say, "We're cool, please don't let a predator eat me." But grooming takes time, a lot of time. A chimpanzee can spend up to 20% of its waking hours picking bugs out of its friend's fur, and that created a massive mathematical problem. If a monkey tried to expand its friend group to 500 monkeys, it would have to spend 40 hours a day picking fur, leaving zero time to forage for food, sleep, or run away from hungry lions. Trying to be friends with everyone meant starving to death in a very clean coat of fur. Dunbar realized that social group size was directly limited by brain power. Specifically, he looked at a part of the brain called the neocortex, the outer layer of the brain responsible for conscious thought, complex language, and tracking social relationships. When Dunbar measured the neocortex size of different primate species and compared it to their group sizes, he discovered a shockingly clean mathematical ratio. The bigger a species' neocortex, the larger its social group could be. So Dunbar asked an obvious question. If you plug the human neocortex into this exact mathematical formula, what is the maximum group size for human beings? The math gave him a specific number, 147.8. Rounded up, that number is 150. This is what science now calls Dunbar's number. It is the maximum number of individuals with whom you can maintain a stable, conscious social relationship, a relationship where you know who each person is, how they relate to everyone else in the group, and where you would feel comfortable sitting down with them uninvited if you ran into them at a coffee shop. When Dunbar published his 150 limit, skeptics scoffed. They argued that humans are far smarter than monkeys, that we have language and civilization, and that we can easily maintain thousands of relationships. So researchers began hunting through history, anthropology, and sociology to see if Dunbar's number actually held up in the real world. What they found was astonishing. When anthropologists surveyed hunter-gatherer societies across the globe, from Australian Aboriginal tribes to Amazonian clans, the average size of a nomadic clan was almost always right around 150 people. When historians examined the Domesday Book, a massive census of medieval English villages taken in the year 1086, the average population of a self-contained farming village was roughly 150. Even modern military strategists stumbled onto this exact same number completely by accident, from ancient Roman army manuals to modern military infantry companies. Armies across history independently settled on a base unit size of roughly 150 soldiers. Why? Because at 150 men, a military commander can know every single soldier's name, personality, strengths, and weaknesses personally without writing a single page of bureaucratic paperwork. The number 150 is hardwired into human social architecture. One of the most famous modern proofs of Dunbar's number comes from a religious farming community called the Hutterites. For centuries, the Hutterites have followed a strict rule. Whenever one of their farming villages reaches 150 people, they immediately split the village in half, buy new land, and build a brand new community. When asked why they strictly enforced the 150-person limit, the village elders gave a fascinating explanation. They explained that when a community has fewer than 150 people, you don't need police officers, written laws, or formal management. Everyone knows everyone. If someone starts slacking off, acting selfishly, or breaking rules, informal social pressure and casual conversations instantly fix the problem. But the moment a village crosses 151 people, a bizarre psychological shift occurs. Strangers emerge, group cohesion breaks down, people start taking advantage of each other, and you suddenly need rules, written contracts, and managers to keep order. A high-tech manufacturing company called W.L. Gore, the makers of Gore-Tex waterproof fabric, discovered the exact same phenomenon in corporate offices. Whenever a Gore-Tex manufacturing plant grows larger than 150 employees, the company literally builds an entirely new factory next door. They discovered that at 150 workers, people naturally help each other out, share equipment, and take pride in their work. At 151 workers, people stop knowing who works in which department, team spirit evaporates, and people start leaving passive-aggressive notes on the break room microwave. Your brain was designed to operate in a village of 150 people. Psychologists have since discovered that Dunbar's 150 limit is actually the outer ring of a series of precise concentric circles inside your head, organized by a rule of 3. The innermost circle contains roughly 5 people. This is your core support group, the handful of people you rely on for emotional survival, the ones who would show up at 3 in the morning to move that heavy couch. The next circle expands to 15 people. This is your sympathy group, close friends and family whose deaths would cause you genuine, deep grief. The third circle is 50 people. These are your active friends, the people you invite to a birthday party or a backyard barbecue. And the final outer circle is 150 people. Beyond 150 lies the realm of acquaintances, famous celebrities, and nameless faces. Now, consider the bizarre psychological trap of your modern life. You carry a glowing glass rectangle in your pocket that exposes your ancient 150-person brain hardware to thousands of human beings every single day. Algorithms constantly blast your mind with updates, wedding photos, political opinions, and personal drama from high school acquaintances you haven't spoken to in 12 years. Your brain treats every single one of those digital inputs as if they were sitting around your ancient savannah campfire. When you try to follow 500 people on social media, your brain gets overwhelmed by cognitive fatigue. You aren't designed to process the personal lives of 500 people simultaneously. It creates a psychological state called social overload. You feel exhausted, detached, and guilty for not responding to messages, yet somehow more isolated than ever. Your brain is trying to groom a troop of 2,000 chimps, and it is burning out from the effort. You still have 1,200 followers on your phone, but now you understand why, when life gets real, only 3 or 4 people show up to help you move that heavy sofa. You don't need a larger circle of friends. You just need to stop expecting your prehistoric brain to run a stadium when it was built for a village.